Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Supplementary Videos. My name is Kasanas. Guys, in this episode we're going to be taking a look at the idea of the update, the fixed update, and the late update. Alright, let's get started. Okay guys, so let's briefly talk about the idea of the update function. The update function is something that's given to us whenever we start ourselves a new mono behavior script. Along with the start, we have this update function. And as you can see here, it says update is called once per frame. That means that the code inside of the braces of the update is called every single frame that your system's running. If you have a system that is very, very fast and running, 10,000 frames per second, then the information or the code within the braces here will run 10,000 times every second. If you have a terrible computer and you have 2 frames per second, then the code within the update function will run twice every second. Now, I hope you can see that there are issues that will arise from the use of update. Because it's frame rate dependent, the performance is going to be absolutely dependent on the frame rate of your system. But sometimes that's extremely important. So anything that I have inside of the update will run every single frame. Similarly, let's add in another function here called the void late update. So tab, automatically declares private for me, void late update. The difference between the update and the late update is the late update is also run every single frame. However, it's always run after all of the updates are completed. So everything runs its update, and then all of the late updates are run. So if you need something to happen and you don't want to check and see if whatever's occurred has occurred until after all of the updates are done, you can add that information in the late update. Okay, but again, it has the same issues as the update. It's frame dependent, which means it'll run better or more often. I shouldn't say better. It'll run more often on some computers than others. The last option we're going to take a look at today is the fixed update. So I'm going to say void. I'm going to start typing fixed. I'm going to say, yep, I want the fixed update. Again, it's filled it in for me. A private fixed update, my brackets, and my braces down here. Now, the fixed update is not frame dependent. The fixed update runs typically immediately after the physics engine. So the physics engine will do its stuff, all the calculations will be done, and then the fixed update will be run. The default setting, I believe, for the fixed update is it is run every 0.02 seconds. So every 0.02 seconds, regardless of frame rate. I mean, I guess if your frame rate was really low, you might have a problem, but it typically won't be that low. It will run every 0.02 seconds. So everything within these braces will be run every 0.02 seconds. Let's examine that. So I'm going to come up here and right at the top where I initially did all of my declarations, I'm going to add in a couple of different integers. I'm going to say int, and I'm going to create the update counter, and I'm going to set it equal to 0. And I'm going to make one of these for each of my updates. So my late update counter is going to be equal to 0. And my fixed update counter, oops, I spelled it. Yeah, that's good. Almost correct, is equal to 0. Let's just fix that really fast. Counter. Okay, is equal to 0. So each of these values have been initialized to the value of 0. Now, what I want to do is every single time that I run the update, I'm going to count it up 1. Every single time I run the late update, it's going to count up by 1. And every time we run the fixed update, it's going to count up by 1. I just want to suggest here as well, something I haven't mentioned yet. This is called camel case, where the first letter of a variable it has it uses a small small letter, and then every word within that variable name afterwards starts with a capital letter. That's called camel case. And it's typically what we use. It's what's typically used within programming. It's this idea of camel case. So any of your actual functions will always start with a capital letter, and any of your variables will start with a small letter, and then every word inside of that variable will have a capital letter afterwards. Okay, so now let's talk about how we're going to update these values. I'm going to come down here into my update function, and I'm going to say update, and I'm going to write this. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways of doing it. Here's the first way: update plus plus, and this is going to simply add the value over and over and over again. This is a shorthand way of saying update. Oops. Update counter equals update counter plus one. Both of these things here kind of do the same thing. Um, sort of, I guess. They'll both do the same thing as far as we're concerned here. So I can use either one of these. Update counter plus plus will increment the value of update counter. Update counter equals update counter plus one will also increment the update counter. Let's just get rid of this for now. So we'll only use one of them. Update counter plus plus. We will add this into each of these. So in our late update counter plus plus and our fixed update counter plus plus, and we are going to file save this. Now, right now, we're not actually seeing the values, so what we also have to do each time is print it out. All right, so I'm going to add in here in the update, print, and I'm going to add in update. Actually, I'll show you this for now. I'm going to say update equals, and I'm going to make a space here. I'm going to say plus update counter. So what this is going to do for me is it's concatenating the value update counter. It's automatically converting it to a string for me. And it's going to print out update equals update counter. And I'm going to add this to each of these. So I'll just grab this and I'll copy it. And instead of update, I'm going to say late update equals late. What did I call it? I think I call it late update counter. Yes, I did. Perfect. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Control V this. And I'm going to say fixed update equals fixed. Did I say fixed like this? I forget what I called it. I've already forgotten. Yes, good. Fixed update counter. I have a really short memory. I've forgotten in those 2 seconds. All right, let me file save this. So now what we're going to see is we're going to see this printing out over and over again, and our update counter and our late update counter should be equivalent, and our fixed update counter will follow behind. It'll actually be slower or less. So I'm going to move this out of the way now that we've saved that. It's all been saved right here. Let me clear this out, and let's hit play and see what happens. Okay, we are seeing the values go up. Let me just stop this right now. I'm just going to stop the production here. I'm going to stop the value right here. Now we can see that let me see here. We can see that, let's take a look here. We can see that our update equals 1610, our late update equals 1610, but our fixed update only equals 271. That value is always lagging behind. And you'll look and see what we're seeing here. We are often seeing several different update before the fixed update. So we're seeing update 612, late update 612, update 613, late update 613. We have not even seen in between these two, we haven't seen a fixed update because the update and the late update are running much quicker than the fixed update. Okay, so why would you want to do this? Why would you want to use one over the other? Well, I've already suggested that the update itself runs every frame, and the late update runs after all of the updates are complete. So if you have to update something in any of your scripts, you will put the calculations, etc., into the update function. And if you need to ensure that those calculations or whatever actions you've taken are completed, then you can reference those calculations inside of the late update in any of your scripts. All right. The fixed update you would utilize if you want something that was frame independent. It moves at a slower rate. So some things it might reduce like how movement's happening. So for example, I used fixed update when I am moving my camera, following my character around. If I've got a camera that's following a character around, I use the fixed update to allow the character's physics actions to take place. So the character's moving around and the camera doesn't update as often. All right, the fixed update allows me to have fewer updates that are occurring, and it gives me a smoother action within my camera movement. So that's why you might want to use one over the other. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. That is the end of this particular video. We just want to take a look at the different updates that were available to you. Practice using these updates on your own time. Try writing yourself up this code. See how it works for you. Examine your computer to see how it works on your computer versus someone's computer near you. And you will see the difference in the values. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down below with a thumbs up. And if you didn't, a thumbs down is perfectly fine. These are all these videos are for my students. It's to make sure that they are understanding the things that we are doing in class. All right. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments down below. And if you haven't done so, please take a few seconds to subscribe. Have yourselves a wonderful day, everyone.